On the docket for this Monday edition of Golden State Warriors Today, we're going to break down and explain the only way that the Golden State Warriors can trade for Lauri Markkanen. So stay tuned for that conversation. First, we have some people here at Chat Sports speaking with Danny Ainge, who's running basketball operations for the Utah Jazz, and he has told us exclusively that if we get the 500 likes on this video, he will trade Lauri Markkanen to the Golden State Warriors. Let's wish it into existence, or should I say, let's like it into existence. And with that, let's start the show. So as we sit here approaching the end of July, there is really only one way that the Warriors can trade for Lauri Markkanen to give Steph Curry that next star. We've heard what the Utah Jazz are willing to take and what the Warriors are willing to give up. What exactly is it? Here's what Marc Stein, NBA Insider, had to say about these Jazz-Warriors trade rumors. That's a good place for us to start. There is a belief in some corners of the league that Utah's interest in Brandin Podziemski, in combination with future draft compensation that the Warriors could package with the all-rookie first-team selection, is serious enough that it keeps alive the prospect of a Lauri Markkanen trade between now and August 6th. That, as you've surely heard by now, is the first day that Markkanen is eligible to renegotiate and extend his contract with the Jazz at a much higher number than his $18 million expiring salary for 2024-2025. It has become clearer and clearer that it is Brandin Podziemski and not Jonathan Kuminga who Danny Ainge wants. And if Brandin Podziemski is the player that is keeping the Warriors from trading for Lauri Markkanen, I highly disagree with that. Utah's essentially set a deadline for a trade. The contract extension that Markkanen is due and the date of that gives us a timeline for us to follow here. And this Lauri extension, what is he eligible for? To receive a big bag because he's a really good player. 4 years, $200+ million. Now, Jonathan Kuminga could land a deal very similar to that. Do you trade away Kuminga in order to bring in Lauri Markkanen if you're worried about the price tag? Here's what Marc Stein had to say furthermore. Yet there is also a growing belief league-wide that the Warriors would be more willing to move Jonathan Kuminga in a Markkanen trade or any big swing deal than Brandin Podziemski. To this point, however, it must be noted that Golden State's offers for Markkanen have centered around a package featuring Moses Moody and draft compensation without including Podziemski or Kuminga. So both teams have kind of shown their hands here. Danny Ainge, I want Brandin Podziemski back for Lauri Markkanen. That's it. Conversation ends there. Golden State Warriors, we're willing to give you picks as well as Moses Moody. This is a classic trade negotiation stare down, and this is classic which organization, which general manager, Mike Dunleavy Jr., Danny Ainge, is going to win this leverage battle and which side will fold. As for Podziemski, I think that he's going to be a good player in this league. If the Jazz are asking for him in exchange for Markkanen, that wouldn't be the holdup for me. I would make that deal in a minute. And I get it, during his rookie year, he showed a lot of flashes of being a really good player. 9 points per game, just under 6 rebounds, 45.5% from the field, 38.5% from three. He was good in NBA Summer League. He played well for the USA Select team against the Olympic team. Some of his advanced stats, very good. Steve Kerr probably has looked at this, and he has access to these numbers. First in the NBA in charges drawn, his step-back three-point percentage, 56.5%. Above the break three-point numbers with the lefty stroke, 38.5%. And his usage percentage, 15.5%. That's 12th on the team. So if he gets more opportunities and his usage number increases, you would imagine the numbers would skyrocket. The Utah Jazz probably cognizant and aware of that as well. So with that, we shift gears to today's poll question. It's up to you. Would you trade Podziemski for Lauri Markkanen? Give me a Y for yes or an N for no. I think that Podziemski has become Steve Kerr's favorite. While he didn't have big usage, it was clear that Steve Kerr really liked Podziemski's fit into the system, and he liked him the most of the young players on this team. Why both teams might want him? He's 21 years old, untapped potential, a growing player. He has comfort and polish, either with or without the ball. Golden State Warriors looking to obviously replace Klay Thompson. They might think that Podziemski can do that to a certain degree. Defensively, offensively. Within this offensive system under Steve Kerr, Podziemski could be a seamless fit on this team. He's gritty. He's a grinder. Does the dirty work on the court. And we know that Steve Kerr likes players with that type of pedigree, that type of approach to the game, and that type of attitude. And then lastly, given that he's coming off his rookie year, he has 3 more years of team control. So again, that's why the Jazz and the Warriors are both fans. His contract, extremely affordable, especially for a Warriors team that is really tight on the salary cap. 2024, 2025, $3.5 million. After that, under 3.7. Following year, in the final year, 2026, 27, $5.68 million. So that's a very affordable contract right there. And from my view, it makes total sense why Golden State has Podziemski as an untouchable player. They must think that he is emerging to the point where he can become an all-star player. But you're counting on him taking a huge leap if he's the untouchable in this trade, because the clock is ticking on Steph Curry. Now, coming up next here on the show, where does Jonathan Kuminga fall into this conversation? Stay tuned for that. Right now, currently, I'm watching USA take on Germany. Steph Curry, he's been cooking. I was watching the game on, Saturday? He had a 3 right before halftime from 35 feet. Just ridiculous. He's looking good in this number 4 USA jersey. If you want to get your number 4 USA jersey, get it today. Chatsports.com/CurryUSA. I'm attaching that link to the pinned comment of today's video. Anthony Slater with this. Mike Dunleavy said Jonathan Kuminga was virtually untouchable in trade talks. So not quite untouchable, but virtually untouchable. Good words used by the Warriors general manager. As untouchable as guys can be in this league, didn't see a scenario where Jonathan wouldn't be on our team after this deadline. I'm telling you right now, with the Warriors' actions currently, they better hope that Podziemski and Kuminga become star players in this league. Because the fact that they're this bullish on both to not make a Lauri Markkanen trade, which that's a move I think makes you better, that's pretty telling. Who's in this deal then? If Podziemski, Kuminga, both untouchable, then a trade for Lauri Markkanen, not happening. Because Danny Ainge is not taking Moses Moody and picks for an all-star and most improved player in this league. What I would do, probably rather trade Podziemski, although if you have the argument to be made and if there's a conversation to be had that the Warriors should trade Kuminga over Podziemski, let me know. I just think wings are a little bit more valuable in the NBA. Why the Warriors would keep Kuminga? He's that big athletic wing who can really affect the game on both ends of the floor. His production increased dramatically when his role did. There's an improving three-point ability that he has to his game. There's defensive upside that I think is higher than Brandin Podziemski. And then lastly, what did I just say? Two-way wings win in today's NBA as compared to guards. Now in year 3, I have likened and I have compared Jonathan Kuminga to Jaylen Brown. When Kuminga was playing for the G League Ignite, when Jaylen Brown was playing for Cal, I saw similarities there. And then when they entered the draft, both players, I looked at them and what they could become. And specifically with Kuminga, I compared him to Jaylen Brown. And in year 3 for Brown, it took him a little while to get going. And now we're talking about the NBA Finals MVP. So year 3, numbers to the left, 13 points per game, 4 rebounds, 46.5% from the field, 34+% from 3. Kuminga, better in points per game, better in rebounds, better with the field goal numbers, and a little bit less as far as the three-point numbers. Brown was a great defender then. We're talking about defensive ability as upside and potential for Kuminga. I get that. But Brown, a little bit raw with the handle. Kuminga, a little bit raw and has to be refined with his offensive game. You have a higher chance, I think, of winning a 5th championship with Steph if Kuminga is your 3rd best player over Podziemski. The problem is you're looking for the second best player. And who is that going to be? In my opinion, that can be Lauri Markkanen. Here's Smitty's trade idea. Warriors receive Markkanen. Jazz receive Podziemski, Andrew Wiggins, a salary filler, 4 first-round pick swaps, and second-round picks. And then your potential lineup is this. Steph, DeAnthony Melton, or Buddy Hield, Jonathan Kuminga, Draymond Green, Lauri Markkanen. That's an interesting team in the Western Conference. A Western Conference that is uber competitive, but it's open. It's up for the taking for Golden State. What's most likely? Trade Kuminga, trade Pods, no trade at all. You see the prompts here. Let me know down in the comments section right now. My final thoughts. As of today, I believe the stubbornness of both Dunleavy and Ainge will prevent a deal that should happen for both sides. Why would the Jazz keep on to Lauri Markkanen? They're just in a no man's land right now. And the Warriors, they got to maximize on Steph Curry still playing in his prime. Subscribe to us here on Golden State Warriors Today for more coverage like this. We always bring the heat. You already know.